Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Review Podcast episode 24. No Darren today, as you can see, it's me, Lee, hosting, and I'm joined with Greg. How are you, Greg?
Heartbroken.
What's breaking your heart?
I weighed myself this morning for the first time in a while, and
it's not Christmas yet.
I know, that's the thing. Like, I was genuinely thinking the other day, right, I'm eating really badly at the minute, but it's such a hard time of the year to try and lose weight. It's like, I'm going to want to eat all that nice Christmas stuff and chocolate and whatever else. So do I wait till the new year, or do I just try and sort myself out now?
I see your face and your chest every week, Greg, and you don't look big to me.
Yeah. People say that to me as well, but I feel it, and Wii Fit tells me that I'm creeping up too far into the overweight category.
That's why you had you on this week, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Having said that, I actually saw you, I think you were playing the fit boxing.
Yes, I did give the demo a try. Yeah.
How did you find it?
I found it like a very simplistic rhythm game, more than a fitness exercise trainer. It was more like, a very simple kind of taiko drum master, kind of beat this left, right, right, left, and it didn't get anything more complicated. They promised more in the full version, but in the demo, there's very little to it.
Yeah. How far did you actually go in the demo? Because like when I initially played it, I thought this is really like not really interested, and then when I started like putting combos together, like you do like jab and then like
left, right, that kind of thing.
Yeah, hooks and then uppercuts and everything. I actually felt it kind of made me want like a first-person Streets of Rage game or something.
Didn't we have this is a long intro. Didn't we have a first-person? What was it on Street Fighter? Was it the 3DS one?
Oh yeah, it was a 3DS one. I want to be throwing those punches though.
Yes, exactly. Apart from that, I didn't make it to the uppercuts and all those, so I've only seen the sedentary opening, so that's why I've probably been let down.
Yeah, hopefully there's a bit more depth to it, because there was a wee bit of potential there, even though the track list is awful.
Yeah, and I did a 10-minute warm-up, and I didn't break any sweat, It's like, 10 minutes of that? Easy. Anyway, on to the news. So we're starting off with a mysterious teaser website trailer. Well, it was a picture, it was, from Koei Tecmo. And they had fire bursting up on the screen and Japanese writing with December the 6th written on it. And everybody said there's a game on the way. And personally, it looked like a Musou game, something that Koei Tecmo are famous for, the kind of Hyrule Warriors. But the game was coming on PS4, Switch, and I can't remember, it was Xbox as well. But it was coming on pretty much everything. And what did you think it was, Greg?
I kind of figured it was probably just another like Dynasty Warriors style game, but clearly it's not.
Well, when I did it for the news and I searched for Koei Tecmo December 6th trailer so I could get the photo to put into the news, the Musou titles came up and two other words came up called franchise stagnation. And yes, but it wasn't franchise stagnation. It wasn't one of those Warriors games. It was actually a horse racing game called Winning Post, and it's the 9th entry.
Well,
so
is that not stagnating a wee bit?
Bit of a disappointment for the end of the week. Next, this one I am really psyched for, and I thought you would be, but you seemed a bit more standoffish. It's that Codemasters are actually and finally bringing a game to the Switch. Yes, it's a port of a a very old game actually. I think it came out at least 5 years ago, called Grid Autosport. And it's going to be released on the Switch in 2019. We haven't got a firm date. They've shown some movement and videos of it, and it's looking nice. And the variety of cars you can have, from F1 style cars through to rally cars, through to normal Nissans or whatever, it looks very, very intriguing. And as long as it can maintain a frame rate, I don't particularly care what it looks like, even though it looks good. This one, Greg, has it got you? V-Rally hasn't.
Not really. The fact that Codemasters is bringing something to the Switch is, to me, positive for the future. But like the grid games, I've never played one, but that style of racing game is not really like the more realistic side of racing. Generally, isn't really for me. Although if Codemasters were to bring a sort of more realistic one, I'd probably rather have like Dirt Rally or something like that. I'm not sure if you prefer that or you want your F1 game.
It has to be F1 for me.
But like something like this here certainly increases the chances of F1 coming, unless like it completely bombs, which isn't entirely impossible.
Not for this type of game, because it does cross that kind of half realistic, half arcade racer, and but it is looking good, and hopefully there's enough pedal heads out there like me playing with the Switch that are demanding this type of game.
I mean, it could be one that actually surprises me, because whenever I got my PS4 a couple of years ago, it came with The Last of Us remastered, Uncharted 4, and Drive Club, and I didn't think I would like Drive Club. I was actually, whenever I was getting the bundle, I was sort of thinking, well, I could see what the trade-in value is for this here. But then I gave it a go, and I actually really, really liked it. I thought it was great. So there's potential, I guess.
Good.
Just to stretch this out even longer, I actually seen a wee tiny bit of footage of V-Rally 4 on the Switch.
I was just about to mention that.
Yeah, the video quality wasn't particularly good. At least I hope it was the video quality.
Well, they had two. If it's the same, it's got to be the same video. They had two kind of areas, two tracks they were showing, and one of them was a city which had fog, which the draw distance, not too bad. It wasn't brilliant. I remember watching your Let's Play of V-Rally there's a V-Rally 99 on the N64, and I'm thinking, yeah, similar. Similar draw distance. And then they showed this, which was the first part of the trailer, like a desert kind of one with walls, and it looked terrible. The shading and the shadows were dropping in right before the car, and the textures were just so slow loading that they were having trouble keeping up with the car. And ropey, to say the least.
Out next week. Get hyped.
Let's hope Grid can answer some more driving urges of my driving urges anyway. We've got some more games on the way to Switch. One is coming on December 10th, 3 days after you know what. Drinkbox have announced that Guacamelee 2 is out on that 10th of December. And you didn't play the first one, did you? And I did, and thought it was fantastic. I'd love to play the second, but wrong timing, I think.
Have you played the first one? Do you have it on Switch, or is it like Wii U?
Wii U. I have it on the Wii U, yeah.
Because I know I think I read there's like a 30% discount on the second game if you own the first one.
Yeah.
So when I was kind of looking at it, I was thinking, do I just go ahead and buy both of them? But then I'm thinking, I've got Hollow Knight there that I haven't started. I've got Enter the Gungeon, haven't started it, and like so many other games. Maybe about halfway through Dark Souls and stuff. I can't do it. So I'll just wait for a sale sometime.
Very similar problem to me. Yeah. And another one you've not shown any interest in, and I don't know nothing about this, so maybe you can fill me in, is that Campo Santo have announced Firewatch, and that's coming out on December the 17th.
I don't know that much about it. I probably did see a review or two whenever it came out on the PS4. I'm not sure how long ago that was. I don't really remember that much about it, but I do remember it being referred to as a sort of walking simulator. Hence my tweet earlier in the week.
Yeah.
But
how far it takes the walking and how far it takes the watching is another thing, though.
Yeah.
I've been told by so many people that it's one to watch, so...
Yeah. I don't think I'm going for this one.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on that one. One that Darren and I were talking a couple of weeks back, and I knew nothing of it and just thought it was a rolling game, and it didn't look anything much more than a Super Monkey Ball kind of clone, but without the platforming.
A rolling simulator.
Damasi re-roll. So you don't roll, you re-roll. That has got a date as well, and that's December the 7th, exactly the same day as, obviously, the biggest game. But in a shock turn of events, it's not going to get a physical release in Europe. It will in North America, but it's only coming to GameStop. Japan gets everything, you know, it gets limited editions and whatever else they want over there. Interested in this one, Greg?
It's tricky. It's another one of those games where it has like a wee bit of a cult following and a lot of people love it. And a friend of mine actually bought it one year, the year I got the Xbox 360. He bought me it for Christmas. And I played it for a minute or two, and I maybe didn't give it long enough, but I kind of found it just boring, because you're just like rolling around and you can only pick up objects that are like, I think it's like smaller than your ball or whatever, and it's just as you keep building it up and up, you can pick up bigger things, and I just never really grabbed it. I found it kind of boring, to be honest.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of videos and all that, and I don't think this one's for me either. But it's such a shame that they're only coming, you know, no retail. Then in other words, you can't resell it. Just in case you don't like it. Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, all the Capcom games that are coming out now. Onimushu,
yeah.
Onimushu, whatever you call it, is also going to be Onimusha. There's only eShop as well, so
that one I will probably be buying.
It's got the right price. And the last kind of game release, but this one is only a rumour, and it's from a German retailer called MediaMarkt. They actually turned up and listed Assassin's Creed compilation, which will be coming to other platforms, but Switch is down there as a platform. And they've got a very tentative release date of March the 29th. I know your views on Assassin's Creed games, Greg. But what would make you want to buy the compilation?
I don't know. That's a really difficult one. Like, I mentioned it on Discord last night or the other night, whatever day the rumour came out. And it's like, I am so burnt out on Assassin's Creed, and I have never played a single minute of Assassin's Creed on any platform. It's so weird. Like, it might be a game that's decent enough, because I couldn't even tell you what it's about, really.
It's in the same kind of style as the games you tend to not like, you know, those walking simulators in a way. Go from here, go to here, Rockstar games.
Yeah, just the waypoints.
Yeah, lots of waypoints. But they do have an interesting way of selling the kind of historic value and the things of history. You know, meeting historical people like Benjamin Franklin, and then having a conversation with Benjamin Franklin and how he fits into the bigger history of what's around. That's what I quite liked about it.
Yeah. I only really remember, like, I haven't really been following the series that much, but I do remember, like, when the first one or two came out, like, is there not a lot of, like, climbing and stuff in it? Because I remember looking at it thinking it's kind of like in some ways like a bit of an updated Prince of Persia type of thing,
yeah.
But I'm not sure how similar it is really. But I did like the Sands of Time back in the GameCube.
And to be honest, to go back, if they're obviously going to be releasing earlier games by the sounds of it, you know, compilation, and whether 1, 2 and Ezio or whatever his name is, all his games in one compilation or whatever it's going to be. Oh, to go back after Breath of the Wild and have that freedom and then have these even though I enjoyed Assassin's Creed 4, I don't think I could go back to that again, that's for sure.
You have to wonder how big the compilation is going to be, because there's quite a few Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, and whether or not they'll continue the compilation, have compilation 2, compilation 3, etc, etc. Next news, Shantae Studio, Way Forward, is joining the Bloodstained development team. Now, Bloodstained is by Koji Igarashi, who is the famed director and producer and executive producer of Castlevania games, which I love. And then he's bringing this game up. This seems to be been in development for I don't know how long now. It's a Kickstarter project, and it's just gone on and on and on. And then when I heard this news that, we've got Way Forward working on it. Haven't you finished it yet? It's good news, but are you looking forward to this one?
Is that one Bloodstained Curse of the Moon? Is that what it's called, or is this a different one?
This is a different one. Curse of the Moon was the game that they promised Kickstarter backers would come as a prequel to this game. So
okay.
that was the kind of Castlevania 3 clone, which Darren was talking about a couple of weeks back.
So what's
This
this
one
then?
is like a fully updated modern Unreal Engine 4 new Castlevania. It's called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. And Way Forward are jumping in, and I like Way Forward stuff. I don't know if you played any of the Shantae games.
No.
Pretty good Metroidvania type games, so they're in the right kind of genre of games that they make to fit in with this Koji's team. So I'm hoping for good things. We'll see. It's looking good anyway. If you have a look at some stills, but it's just gone quiet, and no news has come out apart from this. I wouldn't be surprised if they turned around and gone, sorry, it's cancelled. It's been so slow. Anyway, further, this hasn't affected us because we're such a small outfit, but it could if we all of a sudden get 1,000 followers and we're raking in the hard-earned cash, Greg. It's the Nintendo Creators Program, which Nintendo have announced the end of. They've stopped it completely. Now, this was to do with YouTube and Nintendo controlling and monetizing and making sure they get their cut of your monetized videos and just sending out a load of threats to take down your videos if you didn't pay them their dues. Well, it stopped. And basically Nintendo have said that as long as you're uploading or live streaming an existing Nintendo video, so anything off the eShop or whatever they're showing, gameplay footage, so you're playing a game and you record it with your own creative input, it's all go. You can use it as you want. Make money off of it, love it.
That's perfect for us.
Yeah. It just takes away a massive chunk of worry for smaller creators like ourselves.
I think, I'm not sure how concerned you have been about it so far, because I feel like we've kind of been just sort of flying on the radar with our whatever number of viewers and stuff we have. But I don't think we were on Nintendo's radar.
Too small. But I've always been, doing it and thinking, one day I'll get one of those notices. And it looks like I won't get that notice now. That's nice.
Comforting.
Yeah, especially as we use, soundtracks and things just on this podcast itself.
Even the logo's pushing it.
Yeah. We got buttons, they don't.
True.
It's all about the buttons. Anyway, thank you, Nintendo. It's just that overall, basically, Nintendo seem to be opening up more to this kind of practice, which is a nice thing.
Yeah.
Last week, we were talking about Eurogamer, talking about The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword and the rumours... it was Anuma. Yeah, Anuma had said that, hey, you want to see Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword on the Switch? Whee! And everybody was, everybody was cheering, and I was a little bit, I don't really want to play it again.
I was excited for once.
And now this might be nothing. This is just a non-committal thing. But a spokesperson from Nintendo, they got to say the spiel, came out and said, at this time we have no plans to release The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword on Nintendo Switch. What do you make of that?
To me, that's just we'll announce it when we're ready to announce it.
Yep.
Anima's throwing us under the bus here.
Hasn't he thrown himself under the bus?
Yeah, well.
And then, to follow up on that, they also stated that, this is Eurogamer again, stated that Nintendo is keen to have a Zelda game launch on the Switch every single year.
Well, they've already failed then. There's nothing in 2018.
When did the DLC come out? Does DLC... Well, you can't say DLC counts, but I think, maybe...
They better not be talking about the NES Classic thing, the downloads.
Yeah, that's on Switch.
Original.
And the SP version as well. They've got two.
Knocking out of the park.
It's not unexpected. Even if they haven't kept it up this year, there's still the Game Awards, which we'll talk about a bit later.
Yeah, it's tricky because Zelda's one of them games. It's one that you don't want it to go like the Assassin's Creed route, or we've got a new Zelda game every single year. It's really special. Looking forward to the next big Zelda title, every 5 years or whatever it is. And then then like the games that do come in between, they're never really ones that capture me as much as the big ones. Like you've got your Four Swords, and I seen Triforce Heroes on offer the other day for, I think it was less than a tenner actually.
Yeah.
And I still wasn't tempted to buy it because I'm just not really keen on those sorts of Zelda games.
How about 3DS one, A Link Between Worlds? Did you like that one?
I actually did quite like that one. It's obviously like the spiritual, sort of like the sequel to A Link to the Past, which I didn't actually really enjoy that much. But I played A Link Between Worlds before finishing A Link to the Past, and I actually quite enjoyed A Link Between Worlds. And I actually discovered a few wee areas in that which I was able to go back into A Link to the Past, and actually I found a couple of wee secrets by doing that, and that helped me finish it.
Excellent.
But the top-down Zeldas, not so much. Apart from the DS ones. Well, Phantom Hourglass at least. I enjoyed it.
I didn't like the DS one so much as the Link Between Worlds and all those other top-down ones, Link to the Past being one of my favourite Zeldas. But I can see them releasing HD versions of the 3D Zeldas individually. You know, one a year. Wind Waker this year. Oh, Skyward Sword next year. Wind Waker. Wait for the next Breath of the Wild follow-up, and then do another Twilight Princess HD, and just spread them out rather than dump them in one like I mentioned they should.
I'd rather just give us all our franchises.
True.
I'm ready for F-Zero HD, thanks.
Yeah, same here. A bit of Wave Race, as you like.
Yes, please.
Now, the big question of this week is your holiday, Greg. You got some days off over the winter vacation, and would you rather spend your holiday season with your friends or your family?
Firstly, you're over-exaggerating my holiday vacation. Sometimes I only get Christmas Day.
Yeah. Does your store close on Christmas Day?
That's the only day of the whole year it's closed.
Okay.
So it doesn't really feel like that much of a holiday time, but whether I'd prefer to spend it with family or friends, maybe it would have been funner when I was younger, spending it with friends at times and like having a laugh at games. Now, like, I've got my wife and children and
your own family.
Like and like her side of the family, and like I've got my family as well, and like I kind of just enjoy kind of getting together now and just having a laugh on Christmas.
And sometimes the vitriol which explodes over, yeah.
There's never that much of that.
No, my family are pretty good when we get together. Quite a small family. Two brothers, mum and dad, and their families as well, because my brothers are both married with children. Yeah, it's been a long time for me, so I'd have to say family as well. I'd like to do it again. Yeah. And as I previously mentioned last week, but not on the podcast, I was just chatting with you, I'll be working on Christmas Day. There's no Christmas over here. So,
sorry.
Family for me. And why am I asking that question? I'm asking it because there's a new 48-hour global Splatfest between January, it seems late, January 4th to January 6th. Seems very late, being as it's asking about Christmas, and then you're going to get the Splatfest after Christmas, when you've gone back to work. You know, January 1st has happened, January 2nd, you're all back in work, and then we've got the Splatfest. So that's a Christmas-themed Splatfest coming in early January. And a little bit about Super Smash Brothers now. This one's for Darren, because both of us don't have Pokemon Let's Go. But if you, and I like what Nintendo are doing, so that's why I want to quickly mention this one, is that if you've got Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee save data, then when you open up your Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, you'll get that spirit of each one, either Pikachu or Eevee, usable immediately. You can unlock them later through progressing through the story. But I like the way that Nintendo use the save data and link games all together now, and you know, you got this, you can do this. I wish they'd do it a bit more though.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see like more examples of that in Smash Brothers, like got whatever other games.
Yeah, Captain Toad. I've deleted my Captain Toad now. Yeah, Mario Party. You know, do them all. Why not?
Yeah, my favorite kind of example of like reading save data was actually in Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes on the GameCube. It's just like you come up to a fight with Psycho Mantis, and he reads your memory card, so it's like he's reading your mind, but he's reading your memory card. It's kind of cool. Like, and he moves the controller around with it, rumble and stuff. But anyway, that's a wee bit of a tangent.
That's cool. I never played it, so wish I did. The
Just spoiled
other
it for you.
The other Smash Brothers Ultimate little bit is that if you download the game from the eShop, so you pre-purchased it, there is a 400 megabyte download to update the game and to get yourself ready for Friday.
Let's hope you've got space in the fridge.
Yeah, that's quite a sizable update. Day 1 update. Well, it's not even a day 1 update, it's a -2 day update. And lastly with the news is the NES Nintendo Switch online games again. And they just mentioned, just before we went on the podcast, that December 12th will be the next date that we'll be receiving the next 3 games and the SP game. This is the last batch that they've mentioned. I don't think, if you can remember, Greg, we don't know what's coming in January.
Sorry, I just nodded off there when you started talking about the...
NES
we don't know. Although having said that, the games that are coming out this month, Ninja Gaiden's one of those ones that I was kind of on my radar because it's one of them I'd maybe like to actually try. But then part of me is like, I know when I try like we talked about Super Punch-Out last week, and Darren was saying about the NES one. I actually played that very briefly this morning on the Wii U when I had it on. It doesn't feel as satisfying to me.
It's very similar, everything is the same, little Max got he protects his belly, you got to push up to protect your face.
Yeah.
No satisfying because it genuinely the looks.
To me, it didn't feel quite as tight and stuff, the satisfaction of the punches and stuff, and the rhythm of it just didn't feel quite as good. Maybe I just need more time to get into it, but
anyway.
Yes, hey.
But give Ninja Gaiden a try. That's one of my long lost gems on the NES. I would love to play again, and I can't wait to try it out. But the other 2 games were Adventures of Lolo, which not even interested in, and Wario's Woods for the 100th time that's come on, isn't it? I think that was one of the ambassador things on the 3DS, wasn't it?
It wasn't. I've never played Wario's Woods.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm mixing it up with something else. Another one to try. But the SP game this month, and I'm really, really hoping that they add in 2-player co-op, is Double Dragon.
No chance. It's going to be like the SP is just a save file with stuff on it. No chance you're getting your 2-player co-op.
You start off invincible. Just smash your way through the whole thing. And that's the news. We're going to go and talk about the games we've been playing this week and beyond.
The game I've been playing this week is Horizon Chase Turbo, and it's not a game I'd actually heard of until last week in the podcast when I'm not sure if it was you or Darren had brought it up, because we were talking about Outrun, and then somebody mentioned this here about how it looked and stuff. So I actually looked into it, and I watched a couple of videos and thought it actually looks quite decent. So I reached out to the Horizon Chase Twitter people and they were really good. They responded to my questions and stuff, and they were kind enough to send me a review code of it, although it was an Australian one, so I had to set up a wee Australian account on my Switch, which was actually really easy. I resuscitated an old email address that I had and set up the Australian account, downloaded the game, no problems, working fine, and so far I have to say it's actually pretty good. The first thing that strikes you about it is just how colourful it is. I've sort of complained in the past about the amount of 8-bit and 16-bit games that are being made by indie developers and stuff. You kind of get tired of it a bit, but this game's just really bright, colourful, clean, and it's just it's got this really nice style. It's a simple style, but it looks really good, and everything moves as it should, really fast and stuff. But basically it's not really like Outrun, which was maybe we're pulling the comparisons with last week. It's more if you've ever played something like Top Gear on the Super Nintendo.
I haven't.
You're not against the clock like you would be in Outrun. You start at in 20th place, and you have to basically make your way up to first place throughout however many laps there are on the course. And I used to love those sorts of games, like Top Gear Rally on the Nintendo 64 was great, or Sega Rally 2 on the Dreamcast. And this is really a throwback to those those sorts of games on the Super Nintendo, because the way the course works is it's a wee bit jarring initially, because it almost feels like you're on rails kinda. Because if you remember those sorts of old racing games, the way the level sort of builds in front of you, and then you'll go into a corner, and it kind of feels like your car turns round the corner before you press anything, just by the way the course builds. It does that in this here as well, sort of go around the corner without having pressed anything. but you do have to turn still to make it around the corner. You'll crash off the edge, and it's just got that classic sort of like outrun style thing where like you'll crash off the edge and your car will like do some flips or whatever, and then you're back, you're going again. But like I said, you start off and you're racing against 20 people, and this is like, when it opens up, it's the World Tour mode it's called, and basically you've got this whole big world map, and there's like lots of different countries like dotted on it. You start off in this like first area, and everywhere else is locked by needing a certain amount of points from the races to unlock each new area. But anyway, you go into the first country, and it'll be divided up into like 3 different areas, and then you go into those areas, and they themselves are split up into like 2 or 3 races. So there's a lot of content. I think there's over 100 tracks in it.
Impressive.
Yeah, and all the tracks are like different themes and stuff. Like you'll have like your typical like roads with like grassy hills and stuff, or you'll have like snow, rain, and it all looks like really colourful and vibrant, and it's just the sort of thing that really like grabs me. I actually posted a video on Twitter the other day of one of the snow levels where it's like driving along, and then like the fog gradually sets in, and then the snow gets heavier and heavier, and that kind of ties in a wee bit to our topic of the week.
Instant 10 out of 10 grade.
There's so many, almost an overwhelming amount of things to do. But basically you start off in the World Tour mode, and it's all split up. You just do one race, and then like you can repeat that race, or you can move on to the next one if you've got enough points or you placed high enough. Or there's also wee like upgrade races you unlock, where if you finish in like the top 3 or whatever, you get an upgrade for your car. Well, it's for all your cars, because there's a big selection of cars as well, and it just might improve your like speed or nitro or like your steering.
Does that improve it across the board then? Every car will improve in steering. Oh, that's good. That's
every single car. So you can just pick your favorite designed one, really, and they all have their different.
Yeah, it's like a skin.
Yeah. So you start in that there, and like I said initially, it's a wee bit jarring with the corners and stuff, but the trickiest part of each race is probably the initial part, because you start and you've got this whole big pack of 20 cars, and you'll start and you're sort of behind them all, and you'll try and time it to get the best start you can. But if you've played any of those games in the past, you'll know that when you're driving along and you just clip the back of one of the cars, it kind of stops you dead. Well, not completely dead, but it really like damages your momentum. So when you're starting in the big pack of 20 and you're trying to weave through at the start, it's really easy to clip quite a few cars, and that can really hurt you towards the end of the course, because trying to catch first and second place on occasions can be tricky enough, and you need to sort of navigate the first section as best as you can before you're able to really like speed up and get into your flow. But I haven't said that, I haven't finished out of the top 3 in any of my races so far. I think it says I'm about 33% of the way through it so far, but it is really fun. So once you play the World Tour for a wee bit, you'll unlock like a tournament, which is slightly more like maybe a traditional sort of racing game setup, where you've got like 4 tracks in a row, and you have to like place high enough to get like points to obviously win at the end of the 4 tracks. Like, I prefer that sort of setup rather than just like a one-off race, because I like that sort of like the fear of just making a mistake in in one wee race where it like completely throws you off. But you'll unlock that, and there's other game modes as well, which I haven't even got to. There's like I think it's Playground it's called, where they're like one-off races.
I've heard that there's a lot of online content with the Playgrounds, but has the game released yet?
Yes, I think so.
So that should be up and running, basically.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I haven't really had a chance to look into that properly yet. I will do, obviously, before I do my review for it. But there's that, and then there's like an endurance mode as well, which is all locked away until you complete certain conditions in the game. Oh,
that sounds like the time trials, you know, and counting down clock or something.
I'm assuming it's going through like every single track or something, so that could be a long one.
Mass endurance.
Yeah, the tracks themselves are usually done within like 2 or 3 minutes at the most. It does feel really snappy and stuff, but other than you're like racing and trying to like dodge the other cars, there's tokens on the track that you collect as well, and if you collect them all, you'll get like a super trophy. Then you have to collect them all and finish first, so there's reasons to go back into the races that you've already beat. But also on the track, you'll notice when you're playing, there's a wee fuel gauge in the corner, and your fuel drops as you race around, and there's wee fuel tanks that you can pick up as well to sort of refill. Some occasionally they're quite easy to miss. So there's been times where I've run out of fuel and just sort of like slowing down and down and down, just hoping that I make it to the next fuel tank.
Amazing.
Yep. So there's all these different wee elements to the courses. And it definitely adds to the replay value, and like I said, there's already loads of content in there already. I think Darren actually tweeted them last week and maybe even mentioned it on the podcast last week about the price difference, because he says he's already got the iPad version, which costs him $2.99, and the Switch version's coming out at $17.99, and he was wondering, well, what are the differences? Well, in this one here, I haven't got to try it. There's a 4-player split screen multiplayer in it, which I'm sure is going to be great fun. We don't get enough of those sorts of experiences anymore. But there's all this other content. There's like exclusive car skins and like all these like playground modes and stuff. I don't think any of that's in the iPad version. And it's the sort of thing, like, there is so much content here. If this came out like 20 years ago and we were looking at everything that it has, $17.99, we'd be going, that's an absolute bargain. But we live in this sort of world where it's like, well, this is $2.99 on the iPad. But it's like, I've been having such a decent time with it that I almost felt like, because I have like the Australian code, I almost want to buy the game on my like UK account just to like show a bit of support. And then that sort of $17.99 price kind of makes me not want to, which is, I feel bad about, because like the guys are so nice providing the code and stuff. So I actually went on to like the Google Play Store on my phone and saw, oh, it's like Horizon Chase is on there as well, $2.79. Bought it. And you know what?
Well done.
I haven't played it. It actually is like really similar to the Switch version. Like, and it seems to be quite a lot of content on the phone version as well. I know there's all this extra stuff on the Switch game, but having played the cheaper version, it becomes a more difficult sell again on the Switch, because it does run.
Because that version
it
holds up really well.
It does run really well, and like, I don't play that many mobile games or anything, but it's a really good mobile game. And this is a really good. It's a good Switch game as well. Like I say, I'm reviewing it for the site, and I haven't quite settled on my score yet, because I keep wavering between things, because like, even though there's lots of courses and content and stuff, it does almost feel a wee bit repetitive sometimes.
The one thing I take away from looking, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I take away from looking at videos and all that, is it difficult to memorize courses? Because just like in Outrun, you're kind of, it tells you whether you're going left or right when you're on top of a corner, you know, you're kind of doing everything reactively, not by memory. You know, if you're in a Mario Kart race, you are memorizing that track inside out.
To be honest, so far it has been like, I think there's maybe only been about one occasion where a corner has came on top of me before I'm ready to right. Like, you're going around the left corner and then straight into a right corner. The first lap it gets you. Once you come around to the second lap, you know what's coming. You're ready for it.
Okay.
But I like the coins are kind of set up in that sort of way too. Like, the wee tokens that you have to collect, like, you'll maybe drive through and there may be like different rows of it. You'll pass them on the first time around the lap, or the first lap. You'll try and put it in your memory, right, they're in that position when I get round to it again. So I haven't really had any problems like that there.
That's good to hear.
One slight issue I've had is, and it's not been that big a deal, but occasionally you'll be driving along and then all of a sudden there'll just be like, the game will just like pause just for like a fraction of a second. It's only happened like once every like few races. It's not like happening constantly, because most of the time it's really fast and fluid, but just occasionally it's just this wee stop that kind of just throws you off a wee bit.
Couple of missed frames kind of thing.
Yeah, kinda. And there's been one occasion where after a race just stopped, and I had to go back to the home menu and close the game and go back into it. Apart from that, everything's been really good, and if you're interested in it, it wouldn't be the worst thing to try it on your phone first, and then maybe if you like it, get the Switch version, because like obviously you're getting that 4-player split screen, you can play with your son and stuff, really good fun, plus you're getting the benefit of like actual control stick and buttons.
How do they deal with it on the phone? Is it tilt as well, or is it just
this actually surprised me, because when I was talking to Darren about it, whenever I first loaded it up, you can like assign the controls to different buttons and stuff, like is and boost and whatever to different buttons. So I sort of like thought, I had a race normal with the buttons and stuff, and then I thought, you know what, I'll just slip a wee Joy-Con off here, and I'll just try some tilt controls. And to my surprise, there wasn't any. Either that or I'm being a complete donut and just not seeing it. But I don't see any tilt controls in the phone version either. And by the way, Darren was talking there was tilt controls in the iPad version. I don't know if he's making a mistake there or not. But yeah,
we'll quiz him about it.
I would love it. I would love them to patch in some some tilt controls, because I kind of like, I had Super Hang On. I think it was the arcade version of Super Hang On downloaded on the Wii, and you could play with different control options. And I loved using just like tilting the Wii remote to steer in that one there, and I would love to do the same in this here. Apart from those wee slight niggles here and there, you're getting a lot of stuff for your money here. It is a really good game, and we have been starved at decent racing titles on the Switch, so you could do an awful lot worse than to give Horizon Chase Turbo a go.
This is on my radar, that's for sure. Now the game I'm going to talk about, I was going to talk about another game, but it's still embargoed, and you'll have to wait until next week for that one, Greg. But this week I'm going to talk about a game I reviewed on our website called The Swindle. And years ago, when it came out on the Wii U, because it's a Wii U and it's been ported now to the Switch, Wii U game, I reviewed the soundtrack. We never got a review code for the game itself, but I reviewed the soundtrack, and I was quite taken by the soundtrack. It had this kind of ticking clocks all the time, and this kind of... it did sell the idea of the game being what it is, a steampunk caper. Chimes, chugging motors, cranks turning, and music in the background as well. It was a very, very well thought out, well designed soundtrack. So, thinking of the game, and the review code never came, from what I can remember. They wrote to us saying, sorry, we run out. Well, they've given us one for the Switch. Good. Give it a try. Wasn't expecting too much. So, The Swindle's about breaking into buildings, hacking into computers, and all in the goal of earning enough money, building up your money, then to spend on upgrades for your character, which I'll talk about a bit more later, and just to get so upgraded that at the end of the game you're ready to steal this one last thing, which will break the world for you. It's called the Devil's Basilisk. It's a surveillance technology piece. Scotland Yard, the police, are just ready to turn it on, but they're doing final checks, and you've got 100 days before they turn it on, and you've got to steal it before they turn it on, or your life as a thief is over, as you know it. And every time you load in, you start, this is randomly generated basically, and I think, Greg wouldn't like those words, but hear me out, because it is better than it sounds. So it's randomly generated levels, and you start in this hub, which is very small, in an airship. And every time you start in this airship, and then you get the chance of going down and choosing a level. Now, when you start, you've got 100 days left, and you can only choose level 0. There are 6 levels in the whole game. So you start with level 0, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're all locked. So you go down to level 0, and every single time you go down to the ground level, you can keep on replaying the levels if you die. So you die, you can replay a level, then you're down to 99 days left. You die, 97 days, 96, 95, and it counts down. So you basically got 100 runs through these randomly generated 2D platform areas, and you're just building up money. So it starts off, pretty straightforward. Each kind of area is bounded by walls, and then there's a house in the middle, or some sort of warehouse, and as you go through more difficult levels, those houses get more complex, larger, and get far more sprawling. Each place has an interconnectivity of rooms. You've got robots like policemen, but they're not. They're hired to patrol the hallways. You can see their kind of, because you've got to be stealthy as well as actiony, you can see their field of view, so you've got to dodge that kind of thing. And you're just basically sneaking around, taking these robots out from behind so they can't see you. You take them out from behind, they don't see you, then they're incapacitated, and it makes things easier for you. If they do see you, they will turn the alarms on. Then you've got a limited amount of time to get out of there before the police turn up, and when the police turn up, you have had it. You're going to get caught. So you've got to get back to your little escape podio and get back to your airship. Pretty straightforward. If you hold the controller and B is jumping, Y is attacking, X is your action button, like opening doors or hacking computers. But its simplicity belies the kind of what goes on in the background, and everything that you can upgrade is where the game kind of makes its money. You can upgrade everything, all the way from level expansion, so you can pay money to open new levels. You can pay money to modify your skills, so you can jump higher, you can double jump, you can triple jump, you can get an air boost. You can upgrade your tools, so you can open doors faster, you can hack computers faster, you can upgrade all sorts of technological terrors, I call them, at your workbench in your Skylab. Unfortunately, little bit unfortunately, sometimes with the random generation, you'll come to a level where it doesn't quite fit together. So you got this house, and it looks okay from the outside, but then down in the depths of the basement, there'll be a room so deep you just can't get to it. Now you can upgrade and get bombs and stuff which would blow holes in walls, which would allow you to get to that room, but it's like randomly generated, and sometimes you'll find that 3 enemies are randomly generated in one location, making it impossible to enter that location because of all the kind of the amount of field of visions flicking left, right, center, and up and down is just right. You can't go there. But once again, you can upgrade with bombs and bugs and EMPs, which could hide your kind of basically temporarily displace them, so you can sneak past them, but then you got to get back out, obviously. I had a lot of fun with this. It's not the type of game you're going to finish, because you're going to have to put so much time into getting better. I've had about 3 100-day runs at it, and I've put over 10 hours into it. So one 100-day run lasts a long time. Fortunately, after every single level attempt, you can save. Level attempts could last from 3 minutes. It could be a quick 10 seconds if you get caught straight away, or it could be 5 minutes maximum, I reckon, you could spend in one level attempt. So it's a great game to just pick up, drop in, have 5 minutes, and then get back out.
I remember piecing together the video review for it. I can't remember what you gave it. Was it 4 stars?
I did give it a 4. It's just an enjoyable game to come back to now and again, and I have recently as well dropped in and out, and it's not a game I would stick with and persevere and spend 50 hours on, getting better and better, which this game really does need, if you want to see those end credits. But it's definitely a game, just like another kind of random generation game I did like was that Death Road to Canada, sorry, and that did a similar thing, and that's nice, but I finished that one. That's nice to drop in and out of as well, just to smack a few zombies over the head. Yeah,
the random generation thing's one of the things that definitely probably kills it a wee bit for me. Like with that sort of thing, like when you're doing like run after run and trying to get better and better at stuff, you kind of want to know what you're getting better in. You might be doing better, and then the next run the whole place is totally different, and
it's different every single time you get into that next day. I mean, completely different.
That's a tough sell for me. And then the fact that you said that there's like areas that you had problems getting to and stuff, I prefer like
that
more.
That didn't happen too often, but it happened often enough to make you think, you can see where the random generation doesn't quite hold up sometimes.
Generally I just like things that construct it in such a way like everything's deliberately placed, or it's set up for like the optimum experience, and you won't be getting that. You get a good experience, and sometimes you kind of think that there are rooms as well where you can work your way to, and which will turn off all security cameras, because you got later levels, level 1, 2, you get security cameras which are sweeping as well, very difficult to dodge, but you would kind of think that kind of security room should be placed quite low down in the level, so it's difficult to get to before you can turn it off. Sometimes they're right at the top of the level, and it's like, well, it's just made my level easier, that's fortunate, but sometimes wrong placement. Great replay value. So I would recommend it just for if you kind of like this game where you're slowly building up. What I thought I wouldn't like is after your 100-day run and you're not successful because you haven't progressed, and especially on your first attempt, you're not going to even get near level 5. I kind of thought that, you got to start all over right from the beginning,
all your equipment, all your items, everything is stripped from you, and you restart everything from zero. And I thought, oh, I'm not going to want to do that again. But no, I jumped straight back in and thought, no, like, come on, I'm going to get better. And surely enough, the second run, much better. You know, because you know the controls and all that, and you know how to bring up your extra weapons on the ZR button, and how to deploy bombs quicker, and what to expect of the enemies. So every run you do get that little bit further, and it's intriguing then to think, oh, go on, I'll this next time. Next time will be the one.
Something to strive for. How much is it?
So it is $14.99, and I haven't seen it on sale yet. So it might be one that could possibly come in a December sale.
Still not that interested, anyway.
I was also going to briefly mention Mario Tennis Aces, and the only reason I wanted to mention it is that after last week slagging off the Boo Hunt for having awful motion controls that I just couldn't get on with, well at times, I then played and I finished the Yoshi ring shot, and much better experience, Greg. It's normal controls, so you don't need the motion controls at all. It's all, you know, the regular button controls and analog sticks, and 4 players. I've had no problem jumping online with 3 random Japanese players, as it is when the time I kind of do it in mid-afternoon. It's been a mixed bag. It's entertaining, that's for sure. It's entertaining enough that I've now unlocked the 3 different colour Yoshis, which, exactly like in Boo Hunt, you've got 3 different, 20,000 points, 50,000 points, 80,000 points, and each one then unlocks the extra costume outfit, and you're basically hitting the ball through these rings, and you got 4 different colour Yoshis on the court, and each colour Yoshi, say you're green, if you hit it through the green hoops, you get bonus points.
Cool. Okay.
So you're trying to balance it, kind of thing, like, and this happens quite often, is that like 5 or 6 will come up in a row of the same colour, so you don't want to hit it to a corner where the opposite, you say you're green, you don't want to hit it to the corner, so they're going to get it. You want to hit it to the other side so they can hit it back, so then you can plow straight down those 6 and get so many multiplier bonuses that your points rack up. Then by racking up enough points by doing that, you get something frenzy, very similar to the Boo Hunt. And the frenzy is every single ring goes multicolour, like a rainbow. Cool. So it doesn't matter who puts it through, you get all the bonuses.
That actually sounds like quite a lot of fun. Good cooperation and stuff.
You need, this is the kind of crux of the matter, you need good cooperation. It would be really good chatting and going, hey, I'm over to the left, I'm over to the right. I've played with a couple of idiots who are running about and trying to hit the ball and steal, and they'd like, as if they're playing aggressively, as if they want to win a shot. And it's like, you're not trying to win, you're trying to keep this rally going, pal. And they don't seem to understand the concept of you've got to hit it through your colour. Frustrating at times, but fun. Or overall, it is a fun little mode.
There's always somebody.
There's always one. Infuriating when it's on your side. If it's on the other side, I just lob him or whatever. But,
very good.
And that ends our gameplay impressions. I hope to see you, Greg, online playing Ring Shot with me.
Yes, I need to get on there, not least to unlock the 2 characters this month as well.
Well, next we're going to have a listener's question. Listener's question. Dean has written to us, and you can all write to us if you join our Discord channel. You can write to us on our Facebook page. You can write to us on our Twitter handles. You can write to us. Where else can they write to us, Greg? Just write to us at nintendoreview.co.uk. And his question was, what do you guys think will be revealed at the Game Awards this year? Taking into consideration that the Game Awards is happening on UK time, 3:30 in the morning on Friday the 7th of December. Let's have one prediction each, Greg, and then we'll pass it back and forth until we run out of ideas. So what do you think will happen, Nintendo-wise?
I feel like I'm almost just reiterating what pretty much everybody thinks. Metroid Prime 4 trailer.
Yeah.
Surely that's happening.
Got to be.
Yep.
Any addition?
I don't think there will be any gameplay in the trailer. I think it'll just be like it might be in-game graphics, but I don't think it'll be like, I don't think you'll see any actual gameplay. I think it'll just be like a wee movie or whatever, with a wee bit of story to give you a wee, just to make your mouth water. Just think about the possibilities.
Okay. Anything, so you've watched this trailer, Reggie's up there going, hey, look at this Metroid Prime 4 trailer. Anything happen after that?
Oh, again, not completely going off my own bat, because like I seen a listing last night for, I think it's some Swedish outlet, and they've got a listing up for Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Switch. But as far as I'm aware, they're only putting that up going off the rumor that it's going to be an actual thing, so it's not exactly a confirmation.
We heard about it anyway. Yeah,
but I mean, they're sort of like, if they feel like the rumors are strong enough for them to want to put a listing up on their page, they're not the only people to think it's happening. Like, I've listened to like Nintendo voice chat a few times, and like Per Schneider, anytime Metroid Prime Trilogy is mentioned, he's like, it's happening. So I think in a similar way to Bayonetta last year, where they showed Bullets 3 was coming, and then that 1 and 2 were coming to Switch early in the following year, I think we'll be getting Metroid Prime Trilogy confirmed for early 2019.
Oh, not ready to download after this trailer.
I would love it to be downloadable immediately, but obviously Smash Brothers is out.
Yeah, it's all too much.
Yeah, all eyes will be on that. So yeah, early 2019.
So my first one, quite a safe one as well, is that last year, and I can't remember what it was, they were playing Mario Tennis, Reggie and Jeff Keighley, and they were having a conversation, and just dropped into the conversation was that Jeff was going, look now, our Smash is out on December the 7th, the Game Awards are on December the 6th, which they are in America, the day before, Smash, blah, blah, and they were back and forth, and then Reggie said something along the lines of, we'll definitely have something. So, taking that into account, I've had to think about what it could be, but he's going to announce some further Smash Brothers details. We might see a trailer just to get everybody hyped, a Smash trailer, blah, 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 just highlighting everything very quickly, and then whether or not it might be one of the DLC characters revealed, or a new... No, would they have the bottle to announce a new mod?
I can't see it, and to be fair, like, just have to take Sakurai and his word that they haven't actually started on the DLC characters yet, so I don't think they can show a new character there, because that just sort of makes him out to be a bit of a liar. So
but even in the last direct he said there's no more characters, and then 5 minutes later Piranha Plant was there.
That's true. I suppose on the Smash Brothers front, I've just been thinking about it there now. Obviously we talked about the Skyward Sword rumours, like Anuma started them last week and they're shot down. It wouldn't entirely surprise me if they do confirm that Skyward Sword is coming to the Switch, and the Skyward Sword version of Link will be like either a costume or like an Echo Fighter of Link in Smash Brothers.
Ah, that's a good one. Yeah, link them all together in a big trailer. Yeah.
Well, apart from that, like, that's me done. Like, they're not going to show that much. Like, I think Metroid will be it.
Now, I've had a quick think about the games that we kind of know about. Animal Crossing, it's Animal Crossing and the Yoshi game, Crafted World. They're the wrong climate. The Games Awards are these hardcore fans. They need to see Smash Brothers. They need to see Metroid Prime. They don't want to see Animal Crossing.
They want F-Zero.
Exactly. Which possibility. Hey, F-Zero's out. No.
Download it today.
I kind of thought that, well, they showed Bayonetta 3 last year, so they may have a trailer showing a bit more extra information, a bit more detail, a bit more action, and then, being Platinum Games, they'd kind of say, hey, Wonderful 101 is on the way.
I think that would...
A remaster.
I kind of feel like that would be an underwhelming announcement, really.
And my last one, you're right about underwhelming, but I'd be up for Wonderful 101 again. I know Darren wants the sequel, but just let me play the first one, 2 players throughout the entirety of a campaign, I'll be happy, man. The last one I was thinking about, because recently in Japan, they've reopened the Fire Emblem World website, and it's quite an extensive catalogue, an encyclopedia of Fire Emblem stuff on there. And that kind of coincides with, they're going to have a Fire Emblem Expo next May in Tokyo, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Fire Emblem Three Houses date, trailer, more details shown as well.
Again, I
wouldn't be surprised. I'm not expecting it,
yeah,
but I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. I think to catch some attention at the Game Awards, I think it has to be something huge, really, just to sort of take the limelight away from whatever else is announced. Like, the rumors are going around that there's a Crash Team Racing is getting remastered. Some people have been sent like fluffy dice or whatever into sliding into the Game Awards next week or whatever. Or this week, sorry. So it all kind of points to Crash Team Racing. I don't know if that will come to the Switch or not.
There's a good possibility after Crash trilogy. Yes.
I don't think it was ever as good as Mario Kart, but I did really enjoy it. And I'm not sure, like Crash Insane Trilogy, it was exclusive on the PlayStation for a while as well. So it entirely surprised me if it was the same sort of deal here again. It maybe be on the PlayStation 4 for a while, and then hopefully eventually we'll get it on the Switch, because it's pretty good.
Couldn't make me stop playing Mario Kart though.
I guess not.
No. It just doesn't hold up. The only thing that'll make me stop playing Mario Kart as my racer is that Grid Auto Sport being a good port. Anyway, any further ideas?
No, I think it's just Metroid, and that's it.
I'd say that's a safe bet and the most likely to happen. Yes, most definitely. So with that, we're going to go on to our big topic of the week. This week, it's the things that gets Greg's blood pumping and shouting in joy. How are you when it snows in Northern Ireland, Greg? Do you go running out to the house screaming and
frolicking about? Used to love it when I was younger. Like, very, very occasionally you'd get a wee day off school, because like the bus route would come up and there's like a big, huge, steep hill for it to climb before it would get up to the end of our road, or we'd jump on. So sometimes when it was really bad, like the bus just couldn't make it up that way, so it would have to go a different way. So it's just...
that sounds exactly like my childhood. My house is on a hill like that, and if the bus can't get up and the gritters were coming round, we used to throw snowballs at the gritters and make them feel as unwelcome as they can. And if it really got bad, the gritters couldn't even come round. It was then sledging, snowboarding. I didn't have a snowboard. Sledging down the hill.
We used to have like this slope down at the very bottom of our garden. Like the garden where my mum and dad's house is really big, and there's a bit down at the back where it's just like a slope down towards a hedge down at the very bottom. And I used to, like, my dad used to get like peats for the fire, and they'd come on this like sort of like plastic sort of bag of a thing, and whenever all the peats were out of it, a nice big flat bag, so I used to like sit on it and slide down to the bottom of the hill, run back up. Great
awesome
times. Like, yeah.
So with all that snow love, we thought, well, our big topic this week is winter games, games that you play in the winter, but more specifically, games with fantastic snow levels in them and bad snow levels. Greg, do you want to get us kicked off?
Well, I will just say, like, I did mention it briefly earlier, that snow experience I had in Horizon Chase Turbo, I really enjoyed it. Just thought it was really good, just the way the snow started coming in and stuff. I just love that, and like the effects in the game, it's not obviously not like a realistic looking thing or anything, but it's just the big huge flakes of snow and stuff. I can't get enough of that stuff. Like, what about you?
I watched your Twitter feed of that, and yes, it looked fantastic. For me, kind of like, old school gaming, snow levels meant ice, and ice meant sliding, and it's on 2D platformers where we both broke our back on snow levels, and I didn't enjoy them because the snow especially think of Mario, 2D Marios, snow levels always came in the middle of a game or toward the end when the difficulty was ramped up enough already, and then they'd add this extra element of not being able to stop, which just made levels more and more difficult. However, with the advent of 3D, and things like Mario 64. So that's my first one, Mario 64. It was less about sliding and more about aesthetics. Yes, there was sliding elements when you got a frozen pond or whatever, but Mario 64's cool mountain, and whoever didn't throw the penguin off the top.
Oh, you had to go down and show it to its mother first, and then throw it off.
Whoever didn't kill the mother's penguin, and the mother never seemed too fussed. And the slides, and that iconic slide music when you jump on the ice slide for the first time. Oh, yeah, I think you hear it before that, but the iconic slide music down that ice slide as well. Yeah, that is one of the coolest, no pun intended, snow levels.
Yeah, I was tempted to mention that one myself, because I had just that slide down the slide with the penguin and the wee secret exit and stuff. I just loved that wee area, like really good fun. Similar sort of game, like it's kind of compared to Mario 64 in many ways. Some people think it's better. Some people think, like Darren, think it's a terrible game. Banjo-Kazooie Freeze Easy Peak is just, like, for me, pretty much the pinnacle of snow levels in games. Just so cozy. Like from helping the wee Christmas lights across the path to get onto the Christmas tree, or flying through that Christmas tree with Kazooie stuff, like flying through the star, or there's like a big huge snowman you get to climb up, or up when you're flying around you can like beak bomb into enemies in the ground. There's the mysterious ice key that was supposed to be something for Banjo 2, which never really happened until the Xbox 360 versions. Or you're racing around this polar bear called Buggy. He's racing around the sled, you're running around trying to beat him on a course. The music's really fun. It's just the whole level's just, it's beautiful.
I have very fond memories of that level. I can't remember many specifics. When you said Boggy, I was like, oh, the heck is Boggy? Oh, the race, yeah. And you're bringing it all back, Greg. Yeah, and the aesthetics of it as well, with the Christmas lights. Yeah, really, really spectacular. Yeah, my next snow level, which in a game that had already blown me away, and then walking into this area in Phendrana Drifts in Metroid Prime, and you were talking earlier about the snowflakes coming down.
Yep.
And I repurchased Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Wii U, and I played Metroid Prime through to the beginning of the Phendrana Drifts, and it still holds up as this most spectacularly beautiful area you've ever seen. The shimmering reflections on the ice, the music, and as a bonus, I thought, as I'm writing my list for snow levels, and I go back and listen to the music of Phendrana Drifts, and that piece of music, a lot of piano, it just sums up that kind of wintry ice crystal tinkling, and adds more that kind of sci-fi edge to it as well. I'm gonna stick that at the end of the podcast, so we'll have a music interlude to finish the podcast with. It was, and looking at it recently, it's beautiful. Yeah. So going back to when the GameCube came out, it was mind-blowing.
Yeah, absolutely holds up. Just even like it's beautiful, like, and just looking up and like just the wee snowflakes falling on your visor and stuff. Like, stunning game. I really hope the Trilogy HD is coming, because I really want to play that again.
Yeah, same here.
My next one is Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
Because like, you'll spend quite a bit of the time in that game, like going through like storage facilities and whatever else. But whenever you on the surface of the area called Shadow Moses, like it's wintry outside, so there's quite a lot of snow. So like as soon as you start up the game, you'll go through basically a sort of wee tutorial sequence. You'll try and like sneak past a couple of guards and go onto a lift, and that lift takes you up, and you'll emerge next to a helipad, and like the area is all snowy, and like it's just really cool. And you'll see all the guards, and you'll try and sneak past them, and you'll like the guards will notice your footprints and stuff. They'll be like, huh, whose footprints are these? It's just like, I love Metal Gear Solid in general, but the fact that it's like all snowy and stuff throughout is another tick in the list of great things from that game. I just the general graphics and all, just loved it.
I'm going to shake it up now with a racing game, and I've two in particular, but the first one I'm going to mention is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And this track, whenever it comes up on rotation, I select it every single time, because I don't play it enough, and it's Mount Wario.
I'm exactly the same.
what an absolute, from the, you start completely different, because it's a three it's not a 3-lap race, it's a 3-stage race. So it's an extra long race basically. You start off in an airplane, you drop down onto what you would consider, those hardcore skiers do, and power your way down this ice glacier. Then you come out into an area of trees, and you end up basically crashing through onto a ski slope and coming down to a ski jump at the end. Or you even pass a dam on the way as well with boosts. What a fantastic use of racing. And just, it also maintains the speed. I don't know if it's because of the ice in the beginning, but it also feels frenetic as well. It maintains that all the way throughout, and it's also stunning to look at.
Yeah, I would probably say that's one of my favourite Mario Kart tracks ever. Like, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And even just like the music and everything, just pouring you down that slope, like, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, again, I was going to mention that one myself. And kind of similar to that, there was like in Diddy Kong Racing, there was a good few snow levels.
That's my second one I was going to mention.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to bring...
I can't actually remember which one's which, but there's like Walrus Cove and like Snowball Valley and all sorts.
The one off the top of my head that gets me every time is Frosty Village.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
It's only for that pass. You come under what I can remember is an
arch.
It looks like an aqueduct, an arch. It has a big arch. It reminds me of like a viaduct.
Yeah.
There's one back home in one of the villages near mine, and you go through underneath that, and then as you pass through that, there's this Christmas lit village which you pass through on your right as you turn into the left, and that is just that part. I can't remember anything else on the track. Just that part is just stuck with me as kind of, oh, what a cozy little village to live in.
Just the way the wee houses are lit up and stuff. It's I know exactly what you mean. Absolutely brilliant. Also, another rare game for me, Donkey Kong Country, the very first one on the Super Nintendo. Go into Gorilla Glacier. That's the big snow area in the game, and Snow Barrel Blast is the name of the level, and it's one of those levels. It starts off, it's not really snowing that heavy, and like the further you go along, you're blasting through the barrels and stuff, trying not to make a mistake, and the blizzard is just getting stronger and stronger the further you go through the level. Just the way it built up and all, that always stuck with me. That level just looked fantastic, felt amazing, super.
Brilliant stuff. What have I got? Freezy Flake Galaxy in Super Mario Galaxy. So going back to the 2D Marios, sliding, didn't like sliding. I think Mario Galaxy was one of the first 3D platformers that, for me, in terms of feel and movement, kind of perfected that skating on ice. The way you could sharply turn but not too sharp, and the way the camera flowed round behind you as well. Very rarely did it leave you in a situation that you'd crash.
The wee flick of the remote just to get you off and running.
Yeah, beautiful. Perfect. They didn't even get it right in Super Mario 3D World. When you were in that ice skate, you jumped in the ice skate.
Oh, yeah.
The large ice skate. And then when you're powering around in that, if it followed that kind of Mario Galaxy feel, you've had no problem. But no, there was something, whether or not it's the restricted view, it just didn't feel right as well. So that's one for, I think that was Snowball Park or something. That infuriated me. But the Freezy Flake Galaxy in Super Mario Galaxy, it had this islands of snow in lakes of lava as well. And there's this beautiful 3D ice sculpture of Bowser at one point as well. But there's also this boss who's a huge snowball with a red nose, which you got to punch because that's his weak spot. Just that skating mechanic makes every other 3D platform snow level awkward in comparison.
We need Super Mario Galaxy HD as well. You were calling it Freezy Flake there or something? I actually have the same level wrote down on my list here as well. I have it down as Freeze Flame. I'm not sure if I'm wrong.
Okay, maybe I've gone for the American one when I looked it up.
Yeah, but I have like just a slightly different section of that to talk about. It's I think it's the same level. It's where it's a purple coin challenge, and you have to climb a way up to the top of the mountain or whatever up. You're really high up, and then you'll just peek over the edge, and there's like purple coins just hanging in the air, just begging you to jump off the top. And it's a really exhilarating feeling. I love that game. One of the best.
If it's that level as well, there are lava platforms like squares, and you have to use the ice power to ice skate within a time limit along. Because the ice skating was so good, it felt so good as well, and you could flick and go upside down then onto ice and then back onto lava, and
I can't talk about this without wanting to just play it now. It's been a few years.
Yeah, great stuff.
So good. You got any more?
Yeah, 1080, no surprise. And like I've always said, I did prefer the N64 one because of the accuracy. And the Golden Forest, I suppose it's got some elements of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in it. The Golden Forest had this beautiful backdrop. The sunset was coming down, giving its name the Golden. And just amazing because you were skating through, snowboarding through trees at one point in that as well. And very similar to that kind of Mario Kart 8 level. But I also like the opening level on 1080 with its iconic huge jump. You could 1080 off and...
could you pull off a 1080?
I might have pulled it off, but not landed it. Yeah.
I did. I only ever
So
only ever managed it once in the training mode. I just found it really, really difficult.
I think I did a few 720s, but the 1080 eluded me.
But I really like Golden Force as well, and just like you take that wee shortcut off to the side and you're going through the thick snow and everything just slows down. Like the frame rate must be like 10 frames per second or something. Still absolutely adore it. It's really good. I have a racing game from the N64 as well here, V-Rally 99. Basically that came out I think towards the tail end of 98, because I remember, I'm pretty sure Christmas 98 is one that I sort of like herald as one of my like favorite Christmases ever. We got the Nintendo 64 the year before, and this year we got GoldenEye and V-Rally 99, and just like I had never owned a rally game before, so this is like, the only other racing games I had were Super Mario Kart in the Super Nintendo and Mario Kart 64, so this was like a really different thing for me, and just going through like the different stages that Christmas morning was great. And then we'd get to Sweden and there'd be like levels with like sunset and stuff, and it just like, even playing it now, like it just takes me back to that Christmas 98, and like it's fills me with like warmth and joy. But just I remember just sitting with we had brought like the TV from upstairs downstairs to play in the living room, like beside the normal living room TV, so we were playing on the floor just beside with the family and stuff. Yeah, warm memories. Isn't
it amazing that cold snow can bring warm memories? It's great stuff. And another one that kind of really burned into my memory, and the location did, but what I did there didn't so much, is in Majora's Mask. And I know it's not the most favoured Zelda by people, and it's not the most favoured 3D Zelda of mine either, but near the Snow Temple there's this isolated Goron village, and I don't even know what that village is called. But there's just a few empty houses. There's a blacksmith work in there, and it's this enclosed by walls, basically, of mountain walls, and it's this snowbound area with snow-covered trees, and it just looks a perfect winter vacation to have there.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember that area from when I played Majora's Mask 3D there a few years ago. My last good one here is I talked about V-Rally and GoldenEye from Christmas 98. The Surface and GoldenEye. I think it's...
I was just thinking of that when you were on about shooters earlier.
I think it's the fourth level.
Yeah.
Just exploring that for the first time. Like now, when I'm like, I've completed the game a few times, like if going through agent difficult, whatever, I know where to go and stuff. But that first time playing through it in that Christmas morning, just exploring the level and finding wee huts and things, and not being sure where you're supposed to go, or big satellite dish and stuff.
Security cameras catching you unawares.
Yeah, and then figuring out how do I get onto the next level. Oh yeah, like climb up this ladder. Yeah, absolutely great memories once again.
Yeah, and that when the intro, when it spins around and James Bond is wearing his parka. He's got to keep warm. I've got a couple more, maybe briefly mention Animal Crossing. Don't know if you played New Leaf.
I have played it, yes, but I don't think I played it around Christmas time.
That's something special to see, Greg.
See, I've always been meaning to, because like pretty much every Christmas since I got it, I thought I don't really enjoy playing Animal Crossing anymore, but I kind of want to just dip in to see what Christmas is like, and then I just never get around to it. And then
the ability to roll up snowmen and build snowmen and then decorate them and then Christmas trees and it's just this beautiful homely sense of Christmas, you know. It's not just the winter and the snow, it's just a lovely Christmas scene, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then when spring comes and it starts melting and going away, it feels you're missing something. Then it really feels I want it snowing again.
Yeah, you've just made me think, like, I wasn't excited at all for the Switch version of Animal Crossing, like thinking I don't really care about it, but as my son's starting to grow up, almost getting towards the age where he'll maybe soon be able to play something, like Animal Crossing could be a good wee thing where we like have fun in our own wee village together and
share spoils of catching bugs and fish.
Could be something in that.
It is a good game for that. And I'd be remiss not to mention Darren's favourite game, Pikmin 3. There's an area in Pikmin 3, well, the whole game is beautiful to look at, but the distant tundra, which fluctuates between these edges of snow, and then there's these huge snow drifts that you could basically bury thousands of Pikmin in, it looks, and it's just exceptional to look at.
For some reason, it's maybe Pikmin 2 or something, but I always have in my head, anytime I think of the snow level, I just think of like this big Duracell battery submerged in the snow. I think it's maybe the second one, because I'm pretty sure the second one starts with snow, like the very first level, but I haven't played it for a while.
Didn't play the second one. Yeah, didn't play the second one. First and third.
Yeah, I think you played the best ones, to be fair.
Good. Other games. Do you ever play Snowboard Kids? On the N64?
I actually just turned around there to look at my games there, and Snowboard Kids caught my eye there. Yes.
That was a very cute and nice looking snow game. And the other one, there is two more. I was going to say one more, but Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Tantal, who one of the characters is called Zeke. That's his home, and you end up going to Tantal, and a lot of it is this tundra, which is covered in snow and you don't get to see much. But after you get to the actual city you go in, and just before you get in there, this vista opens up of the city itself, and the lights are green and this warm glow, and it's just absolutely spectacularly beautiful, the architecture. And then as you get through and you drop down into the further area in there, there's these huge tall spires which connect bridges across above, which you're basically walking across to fast traverse the tundra below. Absolutely breathtaking in places.
I'll never see it.
Breathtaking. And my last one are the seals, called Flipper Flop game from Riven Heaven.
Okay.
And it's just for cute factor. What a great little mini game that was.
Fair enough. I never even thought of that one there, but yeah, you're right. It's a good one.
I've forgotten what the man says in the background, because you're listening to the kind of seal train, and he's going
I can't remember.
and you clap and you roll over. Yeah. Yeah, great fun.
Rhythm Heaven's good.
Yeah, that's another game I need to come to Switch.
Yep, I'm sure it will. We'll get one.
Even if it's a best of, just chuck it all on it.
Yeah, a Rhythm Heaven Gold. Let's do it. Any bad ones?
I've exhausted myself. Sorry, Greg. What's your bad list?
I only picked one out because a massive disappointment of a game with a massive disappointment of a snow level. I love Banjo-Kazooie, we know that. 2E, not so much. Ukulele. Glitter Glaze Glacier. That snow level is trash. Like, don't even bother. Is it placement of items, or is it luck, or? Well, Banjo-Kazooie was like a perfectly tight game. Everything was nothing was too complicated stuff. Banjo 2 kind of extrapolated everything out. Everything was really hard to get. You felt like you were constantly coming up to roadblocks every time you wanted to go. If you wanted to do this bit, you need to go and do something else, and then you go to get whatever it was you needed. I need to go do something else instead, and just constantly being punched in the face, and it felt like you weren't really making progress for ages and ages. And Ukulele suffers from that, just in exactly the same way, even more so. It's even worse. And just the snow level on this here, it doesn't have the jolly vibes, the Christmas tree and all this here. It's just a bog standard snowy level with just these roadblocks constantly. Just
disappointment.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to an end, Greg. You may be lucky and get some snow in Northern Ireland. I'll give you the weather forecast for Taiwan. It was 25 degrees today. It was 29 degrees yesterday. Little chance of snow, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the snow now after that discussion. Like, bring it on.
I wish.
You're bound to miss it. You're bound to miss it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do miss
Christmas.
I miss that Christmas family Christmas dinner, and then going out the back and grabbing a can of beer from the half frozen water bucket that my father leaves outside, because it's easier to use nature to freeze your beers, cool your beers down rather than the fridge. Yeah, I miss all that. But with that, we'll leave you there. Thank you once again, Greg, for joining us.
Cheers.
Yeah, and thank you for everybody for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you next week. Thank you for listening to the Nintendo Review Podcast. You can find this very podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, and YouTube. Just search for the Nintendo Review Podcast. Don't forget to give us a review and ask us a question. We are also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, where you'll find great content such as news, reviews, and streams. Of course, you'll find us at nintendoreview.co.uk. And check out our Nintendo Review Discord channel for lively discussion, meetups, and in-game voice chat. Drop by and say hello. Podcast Extras! Extras! Podcast Extras! Extras!
I was just looking back at the notes I done like after midnight last night. They're pretty badly written.
I can't remember
I think it's called The Tournament. You just cut this bit out. I need a drink anyway. And I can't read those notes that I was talking about earlier. Well, I think my son's just out of bed here. I need to take him downstairs.
I don't even know who to say. Who was this from? Jeffrey. Okay. I did.